Chapter 4201. What happened back then? 1. Feng Wu threw his hand off and brushed it away with her sleeve, looking as if he had smudged it. Feng Yanbing was furious. Feng Wu stared at Feng Yanbing. Do you have something to say? If not, I have something to tell you. Feng Yanbing didn't see that coming. He had always been a cold-blooded man, but other people had always been nice to him. Feng Yanbing was under the impression that no matter how he treated other people, as long as he wanted to, he would be able to make them happy. At that thought, Feng Yanbing fought back his anger and smiled at Feng Wu. Fine, tell me. What do you want to say? Feng Wu sat down in a chair and said unhurriedly, What am I going to say? Of course, I'm going to get even. Feng Yanbing asked, Get even? Feng Wu asked, Did you know Princess Royal before you married my mother? Feng Yanbing frowned. Feng Wu stared at him. Speak. Feng Yanbing looked around at the others and made it very clear. Feng Wu said indifferently, They're all my brothers and know what happened in the past. There's nothing to hide. Or, do you think what you did back then, ahem? Feng Yanbing coughed in frustration. What if I don't answer? Feng Wu smirked. Are you really here today just to see me? You haven't visited me for over a decade, but you've suddenly become a good father? You need my help, don't you? She was right. Feng Yanbing had indeed come here today to ask for Feng Wu's help, and it was a very difficult thing to ask. The Princess Royal had given the order that they had to save Ning Er, or he would. Feng Yanbing sighed inwardly at that thought, but he still put on a fatherly face and looked at Feng Wu with a gentle look in his eyes. I'll tell you anything you want to know. We're father and daughter, and we can't part with each other. No one can drive a wedge between us. He glanced at the teenagers of the Luo family as he spoke. Luo Zilin crossed his arms and snorted. So, he was her father now. Feng Wu gave Feng Yanbing a half-smile and said indifferently, Let's get back to what we were talking about. Did you know the Princess Royal before you married my mother? Feng Yanbing said, I've met her before, but we weren't that close. Feng Wu said, Did you leave us behind in the Junwo Empire because of Princess Royal? Feng Yanbing was baffled. He didn't expect Feng Wu to ask about the past. It's all in the past. What's there to talk about? Feng Yanbing feigned a displeased tone. Feng Wu only sat there and said indifferently, That's the most important thing. If you don't make it clear today, you'll never see me again. Feng Yanbing gritted his teeth. Fine, he would put up with her for a while. After this was over, Princess Royal came to Junwo herself and told me that she could help me. Feng Yanbing pushed the blame away, making himself look very innocent. Feng Wu stared at him. So, Princess Royal wanted to take you back to Dian, and you agreed. Feng Yanbing said, No one would dare to defy the Princess Royal, right? Feng Wu said, So, was Princess Royal the culprit of my mother's condition? Feng Yanbing said, Well, about that, Feng Wu said, Tell me the truth. Feng Yanbing said, It was complicated, but your mother's injury was indeed related to the Princess Royal. Chapter 4202. What happened back then, 2. Feng Yanbing said, It was complicated, but your mother's injury was indeed related to the Princess Royal. Feng Wu glanced at Feng Yanbing. Feng Yanbing didn't want to say another word. Feng Wu asked, Did Princess Royal do it? Feng Yanbing said, Well, it wasn't like that. Feng Wu asked, Did the Princess Royal let someone else do it? Feng Yanbing said, It's all in the past now, so stop worrying about it. Xiao Wu, we have to move on. But Feng Wu cut him off. So, did the Princess Royal tell Wu to do it? Feng Wu stared at Feng Yanbing. What? Before Feng Yanbing could say anything, the Luo brothers' eyes popped. What was that? Back then? That wasn't possible. After all, their aunt was so nice to Feng Yanbing. Feng Wu's heart sank when she saw Feng Yanbing's reaction. It really was you. Feng Wu was only probing. With the Princess Royal's willfulness, she knew how to hurt a woman. She had to make the man that Luo Xuanji loved to do it himself. Are you even human? Luo Zilin grabbed Feng Yanbing by the collar. Let go of me. Feng Yanbing pushed Luo Zilin away. However, Feng Wu struck out the next moment. Smith. She slapped him hard. Feng Yanbing touched his left cheek and stared at Feng Wu in disbelief. How dare you hit me? I'm your father. Feng Wu smirked. Did I say you were? Feng Yanbing said, you. Feng Wu said, you deserved that. Feng Yanbing said, Feng Wu, I've put up with you for a very long time. Since you won't listen, I won't hold back anymore. He then reached out to grab Feng Wu. However, Feng Wu slapped him again as soon as he touched her. Feng Yanbing stared at Feng Wu in disbelief. He was a level 6 spiritual sovereign, but Feng Wu was a level 3 one. How was that possible? Feng Yanbing glared at Feng Wu. Feng Wu said indifferently, I'm more than enough to defeat you. I didn't want to, but you're so abominable that I can't stand it anymore. Feng Wu, challenge you now. Feng Yanbing said, you're only at level 3. Do you have a death wish? Feng Wu said, well, only know after we fight. Feng Wu struck out before Feng Yanbing could say another word. Feng Wu took the chance when Feng Yanbing wasn't looking and kicked Feng Yanbing all the way out of the main hall. Countless people saw the entire process. Everyone's eyes popped. Is that Miss Wu? Is he our former son-in-law? If that's the case, she's offending her superior. Shouldn't you be concerned about how capable Miss Wu is now? Feng Yanbing is a level 6 spiritual sovereign. He's also a famous person in our empire. Could it be that Prince Consort Feng has given in to Miss Feng Wu? Given? Can't you see the blue veins on his neck? He's so mad. He would have fought back if he could. The others then realized that Feng Yanbing was furious. Just then, Feng Wu kicked Feng Yanbing out of the house with one last kick and snorted. Don't think you can get away with it just like that. Chapter 4203. Can't help it. Feng Yanbing couldn't believe it. How was that even possible? Wasn't the girl supposed to be a level 3 spiritual sovereign? How could she defeat him and kick him away? Feng Yanbing didn't have time to react and just lay there in a trance-like state. Master. Feng Yanbing was followed by a guard named Huabin. Huabin helped Feng Yanbing to his feet and didn't know what to say. He had been trying to speak up for Feng Yanbing when he was in the main hall, but the girl was so fierce that he couldn't believe what he heard. He was so shocked that he didn't know how to react. When he finally realized what had happened, Feng Yanfeng was already lying on the ground. Feng Yanbing coughed with a hand on his chest. He couldn't stand the humiliation. Master, Huabin felt uneasy when he saw the look on Feng Yanbing's face. Let's go back. Clenching his fists, Feng Yanbing stormed off. The Luo family. Luo Zilin put an arm around Feng Wu's shoulder. Kiddo, you're amazing. How can you beat up a level 6 spiritual sovereign now? That's incredible. Luo Zilin wasn't convinced at first when he saw how fast Feng Wu was making her breakthrough, but after seeing the way she fought and how mercilessly she had kicked her father away, he was full of admiration. Luo Ziji was concerned. We all know that he has done a lot of bad things, but after all, he's your father, and you can't change the fact that you're related to him by blood. If word gets out that you've lost your temper today, I'm afraid it'll damage your reputation. Feng Wu gave it some thought and nodded. Did you hear what he said? No one could have stood it. I was so mad that I lost my mind. I'll be more careful next time. Luo Ziji asked, what are you going to do next time? Feng Wu hesitated. Shall I put a sack over his head first? Luo Ziji cleared his throat. It seemed that his father had done similar things recently. In the Princess Royal's residence. Seeing that Feng Yanbing had come back with bruises all over his face, the Princess Royal frowned. What's going on? Didn't you say you were going to bring Feng Wu back? Why isn't she here? Feng Yanbing went back inside without saying a word. The Princess Royal followed him in. I knew she probably wouldn't come, but what happened to your face? Did the Luo family hurt you? The more she said, the angrier the Princess Royal became. How dare the Luo family hurt my people? And you've been too soft on the Luo family. If they dare to hurt you, just come back and tell me. I'll get my brother to punish them. Feng Yanbing's heart sank when he recalled the hatred in Feng Wu's eyes when she stared at him. I'm going to court now. I just want their blood and hearts. Not only didn't they give it to me, but they also hit you. Princess Royal ran into the palace angrily. Feng Yanbing lay in bed without saying a word, and his eyes gradually went blank. Was it really his fault? Did that girl hate him that much? But he really didn't do anything. The Princess Royal had forced him to do all those things. He didn't have a choice. Why couldn't Feng Wu understand how difficult it was for him? Feng Yanbing rubbed his head in frustration. Chapter 4204, Revenge, 1. Why couldn't Feng Wu understand how difficult it was for him? Feng Yanbing rubbed his head in frustration. The Princess Royal really went to court. The Princess Royal had always been Emperor Yan's right-hand woman. Therefore, when she went to the imperial palace to complain, Emperor Yan didn't like Feng Wu at all. As a result, he disliked the Luo family even more. The Luo family is getting bolder and bolder, and they're disrespecting the royal family even more. The Princess Royal tried to incite Emperor Yan. Crossing his hands behind his back, Emperor Yan snorted. Your husband was beaten up by the Luo family. I see that he's not that capable. Feng Yanbing had been kicked out of the Luo family by Feng Wu, and of course, he had forbidden anyone from talking about it. Therefore, the Princess Royal only knew that he had been kicked out by the Luo family, but she didn't know that it was Feng Wu. Even if she did, she wouldn't believe it. And Feng Wu isn't any good either. Emperor Yan glanced at the Princess Royal. What are you going to do? The Princess Royal said, Ning Er's medicine needs that Feng Xiaoqi, but I heard that Feng Wu had the divine phoenix blood. The divine phoenix blood? You mean his divine phoenix blood? Emperor Yan was obviously surprised. The Princess Royal was secretly pleased, but she didn't let it show. She nodded and said, Yes, it's the divine phoenix blood that Mu Jiuzhou used to have. Mu Jiuzhou was in fact a nickname. His real surname was Shangguan, which was the same as Emperor Yan. However, they would rather call him Mu Jiuzhou than his other name. Isn't he dead? Why is the divine phoenix blood? Emperor Yan narrowed his eyes. I saw it with my own eyes, the Princess Royal shook her head. I wonder if Feng Wu's divine phoenix blood has anything to do with Mu Jiuzhou. It shouldn't. The look on Emperor Yan's face turned grimmer. The Princess Royal said, Moreover, the sacred Mu Cliff didn't show up to pick her up from Dynasty Road, which means that she may not have anything to do with Mu Jiuzhou. Emperor Yan waved his hand. Not necessarily. While Emperor Yan was mumbling to himself, the Princess Royal smiled a little. She knew that Mu Jiuzhou was the person Emperor Yan feared the most. Anyone associated with Mu Jiuzhou would become his archenemy. Mu Jiuzhou was no longer around, and despite the low profile of the sacred Mu Cliff, it was still a thorn in Emperor Yan's side. That was how intimidating Mu Jiuzhou used to be. Therefore, the princess knew when she associated Feng Wu with Mu Jiuzhou, Emperor Yan would want to kill Feng Wu. She was right. Emperor Yan glanced at the Princess Royal and frowned. Find out if Feng Wu really is related to Mu Jiuzhou. If that's the case, kill her. The Princess Royal hesitated. But Feng Wu is very talented. I don't think my people can do anything to her. Emperor Yan looked apprehensive. Has she become so capable already? The Princess Royal nodded. She's a level 3 spiritual sovereign at least. Emperor Yan said, at her age, she's indeed a genius. Even if she has nothing to do with Mu Jiuzhou, she still has half of the Luo family's bloodline. The Luo family, after some hesitation, he told the Princess Royal, just do it. The Princess Royal seemed surprised. But Mu Jiuzhou, Emperor Yan waved his hand. I don't care if she has anything to do with Mu Jiuzhou. She has the bloodline of the Luo family, and that's enough. Let's get rid of her before she grows up. Chapter 4205. Get rid of her. Emperor Yan waved his hand. I don't care if she has anything to do with Mu Jiuzhou. She has the bloodline of the Luo family, and that's enough. Let's get rid of her before she grows up. The Princess Royal left in satisfaction. Feng Wu had no idea that Emperor Yan had given the order to kill her. Right now, she was still sparring with her brothers in the Luo manor to improve her cultivation. 3 months passed in a matter of seconds. The legendary Dragon Gate banquet was about to start. Luo Zilin patted Feng Wu on the shoulder. Kiddo, I'm going to register you. Feng Wu looked up. The Dragon Gate banquet? Luo Zilin nodded. That's right. It's the Dragon Gate banquet. With your current cultivation level, you can do whatever you want there, but Feng Wu asked. But what? Luo Zilin said, it's just that the Dian Empire is filled with talented youngsters. No one of your age has risen to level 6, but the age limit of the Dragon Gate banquet is very lenient. Anyone under 25 can attend. A few have reached level 6 before the age of 25, so your opponents are still very capable. You can't take them lightly. Feng Wu asked, who are the level 6 spiritual sovereigns? Luo Zilin said, of the 4 major clans, Brother Zibo is the only one that meets the criteria. The eldest son of the royal family and the son of Lord Yen aren't as good yet. Of the 6 forces, Murong Linen of the Murong clan, Yi Jian of the Formless Sword sect, and Qiu Zhenan of the Mountain Sea Academy are all level 6 spiritual sovereigns. Be careful. Feng Wu said, if I remember it correctly, you said that Princess Xuezhen and Murong Linen of the Murong family are going to have a marriage alliance. Luo Zilin nodded. That's right. With the help of Princess Royal and Lord Yen, the marriage between Princess Xuezhen and Murong Linen is getting more and more certain. They've met each other in the past 3 months, and I heard that Princess Xuezhen liked the arrangement. The 2 families are only wait-ins for the official announcement. Of course, Princess Xuezhen's preference isn't the point. The news only means one thing. The Murong family has been roped in by the royal family. Once they get married, they'll become an alliance. The royal family has roped in the primordial pagoda, and the Murong family will have fewer neutral members left. The Luo family will become more and more passive. Luo Zilin sighed. According to insider information, the winner of the Dragon Gate banquet is going to be Murong Linen. He's going to propose to Princess Xuezhen with the broken star piece. Feng Wu smiled. Don't worry. He wouldn't propose with a broken star piece. That's never going to happen. Luo Zilin asked, really? But Feng Wu said, because this broken star piece is mine. All 4 broken star pieces had appeared. Feng Wu had the first piece, the second piece would come from the 12 Trials of Love, and her 3rd senior brother had the 3rd piece. The 4th piece was going to be in the Dragon Gate banquet. By the way, all your friends are coming, Luo Zilin told Feng Wu. Feng Wu's eyes lit up. Are you talking about Feng Sun and the others? Luo Zilin nodded. You've been cultivating in seclusion for the past 3 months, so you don't know what's going on outside. In fact, your friends have been making rapid progress. I have to admit that they've all chosen the right sect, which is the most beneficial to their cultivation. Chapter 4206, Dragon Gate Banquet, 1. The Dragon Gate Banquet was tomorrow. Therefore, many people entered the imperial capital today. The royal family, Lord Yan's residence, and the Luo family were all in the imperial capital. Sacred Mu Cliff never participated in such things, so no one came. Of the 6 major forces, the Mountain Sea Academy was the first to arrive. The team was led by the principal of the school. Qiu Zhenan, Liang Jin, Zhao Xian, and Ji Xingxing were all here. Of course, Feng Sun was also here. The Murong family sent Murong Linen and Murong Linhai. It was said that Murong Linen had met the princess and enjoyed the conversation. The leader of the Formless Sword sect, Yi Buki, was also here. His disciple Yi Jian, the Sacred Son, and Yi Erjian were also here. Of course, Xin Yi was with them. The Red Feather Room was led by Master Qilian, and Fairy Ziyun was here. Of course, Chaoga was with them. The abbot and the monks of the Primordial Pagoda were here, but the Valley of Medicine Masters never sent anyone. Immediately, the imperial capital was filled with talented people. I'm going out. Hearing that someone from the Red Feather Room was there, Feng Wu picked up a steamed bun, threw it in her mouth, and dashed off. Luo Zilin followed her. Why are you running so fast? Where are you going? Feng Wu said as she ran, I'm going to see Chaoga. People of the Red Feather Room have already moved into the fairy's room. It's been a while since I last saw her. I wonder if she's been bullied in the Red Feather Room. Luo Zilin said, wait, I'll go with you. Feng Wu looked over her shoulder. Didn't my uncle tell you to stay at home and cultivate? Luo Zilin said, I've been cultivating all the time, so I should at least get some fresh air. Feng Wu suddenly smiled. Luo Zilin, you've made some progress recently, haven't you? Are you at level 4? Luo Zilin didn't know what to say. You're almost at level 7, but I'm still level. Is that a compliment? Feng Wu gloated. Well, I'm the best. The blood pool has helped me a lot. Thank you. Luo Zilin said grumpily, you did well, didn't you? I went in as well, but I only made one breakthrough. Feng Wu said, isn't one level enough? My uncle said that one breakthrough is already an outstanding achievement. Luo Zilin said, that depends on who I'm compared to. Feng Wu said, why do you have to compete with me? It's so frustrating to lose. Why do you do that? Luo Zilin crossed his arms and snorted. Feng Wu patted him on the shoulder. I won't upset you. I've recently figured out a new breathing cultivation technique that'll help with my breakthrough. Come, I'll tell you as we walk. Luo Zilin was pleasantly surprised. Back in the Junhua Empire, Luo Zilin was able to keep an eye on Feng Wu. Who would have thought that Feng Wu was already way ahead of him now? Feng Wu told Luo Zilin about her new cultivation technique, and he was pleasantly surprised because he realized that it could really improve his cultivation level. It would be great if he could make a breakthrough before the Dragon Gate Banquet. The Dragon Gate Banquet was the same as the Imperial exam. One had to be on the Dragon's Gate list. How did the 4 major clans and 6 major forces compete? In the early years, they had to rely on the most capable cultivators in their clans. However, in recent years, new competitions had been introduced, and the competition was about the capability of the new generation. Whichever force didn't have a new member in the Dragon Gate Banquet would be disadvantageous to the family clan's ranking. Apart from the sacred Mu Cliff, the Medicine God Valley, which had always been above all other forces, was also an exception. Chapter 4207, Dragon Gate Banquet 2, Udit Bisenvel. While Luo Zilin was making progress, Feng Wu went to see Duan Chaoga in their feather room. Feng Wu heard a hubbub of voices before she got close enough. What was going on? Feng Wu frowned. Therefore, she jumped over the wall instead of going in through the front gate. Before, Feng Wu would have been discovered if she jumped over the wall, but she was no longer what she used to be. After all the improvements, the Red Feather Room had focused all its attention on the front yard, so no one noticed that Feng Wu had come in. Duan Chaoga, who the hell do you think you are? How dare you steal my senior sister's spotlight? Someone scolded her. At the same time, the sound of a whip rang out. If you're so capable, come. Let me see how capable you are now. There was the sound of someone snapping a whip. Chaoga stared at the woman in the green dress in displeasure. My master told me to register for the Dragon Gate Banquet. Why are you angry at me? Chaoga hated it when girls got jealous of each other, so she only liked hanging out with Feng Wu. She wouldn't have gone to the Red Feather Room if the manual didn't suit her. Hey, you're not a spiritual saint at all. Why would my master let you participate? And why would she make you the number 2 candidate for this sacred lady? I don't believe it. You must have bewitched my master. Cut the crap and fight me. The woman wouldn't let Chaoga off the hook. Chaoga had always been short-tempered, and she smirked at that girl's provocation. Bring it on. I'm not afraid of you. Chaoga used her sword, and the woman used her whip. Both used techniques from the Red Feather Room. One was a new member of the Red Feather Room, and the other one was a senior martial sister. Needless to say, everyone thought highly of Senior Sister Wang. Chaoga and Senior Sister Wang were engaged in a fierce battle. Many female disciples of the Red Feather Room were watching and discussing among themselves. Feng Wu listened carefully and realized that everyone was still hostile toward Duan Chaoga. Isn't Duan Chaoga from some wild land? Why is she so arrogant? That's right. I don't know what Master is thinking, but she has raised Duan Chaoga's status so much all of a sudden. I can't believe that she's one of the candidates for the Sacred Lady. No wonder Senior Sister Wang lost their temper. She was supposed to be the second-best candidate, but now, Duan Chaoga has usurped her position. Why did I hear that Duan Chaoga is so talented? My master once told me that she's a rare genius. What genius? She's about the same age as us. She wasn't even as capable as us when she first joined the sect. If you ask me, she must be. That's why Master takes such good care of her. That's right. She has to be Master's illegitimate daughter. That's why she cares about her so much. Otherwise, We won't be able to explain why she's so biased toward her. Do you think Senior Martial Sister Wang will win? Of course. Senior Sister Wang will definitely win. Just then, with a crack, the whip in Senior Sister Wang's hand was thrown out. Chaoga then pointed her sword at Senior Sister Wang's neck. Do you admit your defeat? Chaoga smirked at Senior Sister Wang. Everyone was dumbfounded. What was going on? They remembered that Duan Chaoga wasn't their match when she joined the sect. How did she become so capable all of a sudden? How could she defeat Senior Sister Wang? Senior Sister Wang was quite capable among the Red Feather Room's disciples. What are you doing? A cold voice rang out. Chapter 4208, Red Feather Room, 1, Yutbeisenvel. What are you doing? A cold voice rang out. Everyone turned around and cried out in surprise. Senior Sister Ziyun. It was none other than Ziyun, the senior sister and the sacred lady of the Red Feather Room. She frowned and looked displeased. What happened? When Duan Chaoga let his guard down, Senior Sister Wang suddenly jumped up and shot a packet of white powder at Chaoga. Chaoga sent Senior Sister Wang flying in time, but the white powder still landed on her. What are you doing? Chaoga bellowed at Senior Sister Wang. Meanwhile, Senior Sister Wang spat out a mouthful of blood and pointed at Chaoga. You tried to kill me. Duan Chaoga, you're so evil. After that, she fainted. Immediately, everyone in the Red Feather Room cried out in surprise. Ziyun also rushed over to check her pulse. She blanched. Wang Lin. Wang Lin. However, no matter how loudly she shouted, Senior Sister Wang showed no sign of waking up. She's not breathing. There's no pulse either. Is Senior Sister Wang dead? One of the junior sisters behind Ziyun cried out. Everyone panicked. Conflicts and fights were real, but if someone died in a sect fight, then, Duan Chaoga, you killed Senior Sister Wang. You're so dead. Zhang Ku, the junior sister next to Ziyun, bellowed at Chaoga. She then rushed into the room and shouted, Master! Master! Chaoga was dumbfounded. She looked at her hands in bewilderment. She had pushed Senior Sister Wang away in a moment of desperation. Had she really used all her strength when she killed Senior Sister Wang? Ziyun put down Senior Sister Wang and gave the order. Arrest Duan Chaoga. Immediately, two senior sisters of the Red Feather Room tried to grab Duan Chaoga. However, if Duan Chaoga could be caught so easily, she wouldn't be Chaoga anymore. With a wave of her hand, the two of them stumbled back. Duan Chaoga, how dare you resist arrest after killing Wang Lin? Ziyun was furious. Take her down. Everyone. I don't care if you have to kill her. After all, Chaoga was a new member of Red Feather Room, whereas the other had been here for many years and had formed a team. Now that the new member had killed a senior member of the team, they all treated her like an enemy. Moreover, Ziyun shouted, do you think you can look down on other Red Feather Room disciples just because Master is biased toward you and told you to start cultivating as soon as you joined the sect? Duan Chaoga, you're so arrogant. What she said was so provocative. All the disciples of Red Feather Room had to work very hard to become inner sect disciples. Only then were they qualified to cultivate the basic cultivation techniques of the Red Feather Room, and it would take them many years to become a core disciple. Only then would they be qualified to cultivate the ultimate skills. Chaoga, on the other hand, had started cultivating as soon as she got here, and her master had taught her in person. Not only did Chaoga take advantage of the situation, but she had also disrespected her senior sisters. They felt that Ziyun was right. Chaoga was too arrogant. Immediately, the students of the Red Feather Room were infuriated. Chaoga, on the other hand, was a very straightforward person. She focused on her cultivation and wasn't good at trickery. Chapter 4209, Red Feather Room, 2. Miss Qingluan knew what Chaoga was like, which was why she dared to pick on her. However, Duan Chaoga was much more capable than when she first joined the sect. Therefore, when the 6 Red Feather Room disciples charged at her, Chaoga easily knocked them away. I didn't kill her. You can't accuse me like that. Chaoga wasn't good at making excuses, so she kept repeating those words. Senior sister? Seeing that they couldn't take down Duan Chaoga, The others turned around and gave Ziyun pleading looks. Ziyun smirked and waved at Chaoga. After all, the sacred lady Ziyun was the eldest pupil of the Red Feather Room, and Chaoga wasn't her match. With a thump, Chaoga was sent flying. Take her down. Ziyun stood in midair with an arrogant look on her face. Yes. The audience all looked at her in admiration. The sacred lady was going to be the future successor of Red Feather Room. How amazing! They were about to take Duan Chaoga down when they heard a voice behind her. I'd like to see you try. It was Feng Wu. Chaoga's stomach lurched when she heard that familiar voice. Turning around, she saw that it was Feng Wu, and she cried out in delight. Xiao Wu! Chaoga coughed so hard that she thought she was going to cough her lungs out. She only stopped after spitting out a mouthful of blood. Feng Wu went up to Chaoga and saw the blood on her chest. She wiped the blood off her mouth and said coldly, Don't worry. I'm here. I really didn't want to kill Senior Sister Wang, Chaoga said stubbornly. Feng Wu rubbed her head. I believe you. To Chaoga, those words were the most powerful words in the world. Tears welled up in her eyes and she felt wronged. Feng Wu patted Chaoga's head again before standing up and looking at the sacred lady. Meanwhile, all eyes were on Feng Wu, as was the sacred lady Ziyun. Ziyun recognized Feng Wu, so she frowned and said arrogantly, How dare you meddle in the Red Feather Room's business? I was wondering who it was, but it was you. Back on Dynasty Road, the sacred lady Ziyun had heard Feng Wu's name from other people. However, Feng was Team 1 without Feng Wu's intervention, so the sacred lady Ziyun didn't know how capable Feng Wu really was. Feng Wu said indifferently, It's me. Ziyun frowned a little. Feng Wu, I know you're a member of the Luo family, and you're a long-lost bloodline. I don't want to become enemies with the Luo family, so please stay out of it. She thought, it means that you're not important enough, but I also admit that the Luo family is powerful enough. So, don't get involved in other sects just because you're a member of the Luo family. Feng Wu smiled. I'm not here on behalf of the Luo family. I'm here on my own. Ziyun asked, On your own behalf? Feng Wu nodded. That's right. I'm only intervening on my own behalf. Ziyun asked, Are you sure you want to get involved? Feng Wu said, I can't stand it when good people get wronged, and I can't stand Chaoga saying that she's wronged either. Ziyun was angry, so what if she couldn't stand it? There were so many things in this world that she couldn't stand it. If it wasn't for Luo Zilin, she wouldn't have talked to Feng Wu for so long. Chapter 42:10 Qilian, Jingwei, Ziyun, Wang Lin, Zhang Kuyun. The sacred lady smirked. The Red Feather Room isn't some petty sect. If you're going to get involved, you'll have to pay for it. Feng Wu nodded. All right. After you. After you. Feng Wu and the sacred lady Ziyun said in unison. The next second they struck out. As a matter of fact, Feng Wu had roughly guessed Ziyun's cultivation level when she attacked Chaoga. The sacred lady Ziyun wasn't weak, but she wasn't very capable either. She was a level 5 spiritual emperor, slightly higher than Luo Zilin and about the same level as Luo Zizhong. But now, Feng Wu was so capable that the sacred lady Ziyun couldn't even begin to compare with her. Ever since the Dynasty Road, Feng Wu had been making rapid progress. Feng Wu could have defeated the sacred lady with one strike, but she didn't do that. With the Dragon Gate banquet coming, Feng Wu would have a death wish if she revealed her capability in advance. Hence, Feng Wu had demonstrated her capability as a level 5 spiritual sovereign. She exerted the same level of strength as the Ziyun but could easily suppress the latter. Thump, thump, thump. Feng Wu kicked the sacred lady for 49 times in a row, and each time, she kicked the sacred lady until she flew backward before being pulled back by an invisible force. Then, she kicked the sacred lady away before pulling her back again. Over and over again. The crowd was dumbfounded. How's that possible? What's going on? Why is our sacred lady? The sacred lady is one of the best cultivators of her generation. How? Everyone watched this in astonishment and didn't know how to react. The sacred lady Ziyun was also dumbfounded. In the end, Feng Wu kicked her from above, and Ziyun fell to the ground. You! The sacred lady glared at Feng Wu, grinding her teeth so hard that they almost shattered. Feng Wu clapped her hands and looked at the sacred lady. Are you not convinced? Do you still want to fight? Ziyun wouldn't accept it, but to keep fighting? She couldn't fight back at all. Exactly what level are you? The sacred lady glared at Feng Wu. Feng Wu didn't answer. Instead, she asked, Are you a level 5 spiritual sovereign? Ziyun nodded. Feng Wu said, Me too. What did she mean by, me too? She was obviously not. I don't believe it. You can't be a level 5 spiritual sovereign. That's impossible. Feng Wu said, I'm invincible among her peers. Haven't you heard? Invincible? The sacred lady was dumbfounded and didn't know what to say. So what if you're invincible among your peers? So what if you've defeated my senior sister? Duan Chaoga has killed senior sister Wang and is punishable by death. That's the rule of the Red Feather Room. Ziyun's junior sister said angrily. The others glared at Feng Wu as well. Master is here. The others turned around and saw that Zhang Ke had indeed gone to fetch Master Qilian. Master Qilian wasn't alone. Master Jingwei was with him. Master Qilian was relatively calm, but Master Jingwei abhorred evil and was very impatient. Their names were what their masters entrusted to their personalities, but it also showed what they were like. Before Master Qilian could say anything, Master Jingwei said angrily, Is Wang Lin dead? Chapter 42:11 The Red Feather Room 4 Jingwei said angrily, Is Wang Lin dead? Master, Aunt Master, Duan Chaoga killed senior sister Wang Lin. We saw it with our own eyes. Yes, we all saw it with our own eyes. It can't be fake. Master, a life for a life. Isn't that the rule of the Red Feather Room? Are you going to take Duan Chaoga's side? Master Qilian turned to Chaoga with a stern look on his face. What do you? Chaoga gritted her teeth and remained silent. Master, she killed senior sister Wang Lin. What can she say? Chaoga said angrily, She sprinkled powder on me first. Zhang Ke said, Did you think you could kill her just because she sprinkled powder on you? Chaoga said, I thought it was poisonous. Zhang Ke said, But aren't you standing here? Where's the poison? Chaoga was speechless. Zhang Ke said, You're the one who murdered senior sister Wang Lin. Duan Chaoga, you're so evil. How can the Red Feather Room have someone like you? Zhang Ke turned to Master Qilian and said, Master, please bring justice for senior sister Wang Lin. Ziyun glanced at the others. Immediately, many Red Feather Room disciples bowed at Master Qilian. Master, please don't let senior sister Wang Lin down. It wasn't a request, but a threat. Master Qilian looked at Chaoga. Chaoga said stubbornly, I didn't do it. Then why is Wang Lin dead? Why are so many of them calling you a murderer? Did they agree to become a witness together? Master Jingwei threw a dirty look at Chaoga, then turned to Master Qilian. I've always said that Duan Chaoga is a disaster. We shouldn't have brought her here in the first place. Senior sister, we're in trouble now. Master Qilian shook his head and sighed. Feng Wu didn't rush to Chaoga's side because she wanted to see what kind of attitude the Red Feather Room had. Right now, most people had shown negative attitudes toward Chaoga, and Master Qilian was the only one left. Master Qilian glanced at Duan Chaoga and shook his head. You've disappointed me. Chaoga burst into tears. Only a handful of people in this world had been kind to her, and Master Qilian had been treating Duan Chaoga with all her heart. But now, even she had said such things. No, I didn't. I didn't want to kill her. She started it. Chaoga wouldn't stop repeating those words. But no one would believe her. Feng Wu felt sorry for Chaoga. If Wang Lin really died today, she wouldn't be able to explain herself. As a matter of fact, Chaoga has indeed defeated Wang Lin and let her off the hook. After that, Wang Lin ambushed her, didn't she? Feng Wu finally stepped out. Crossing her arms, she casually scanned the crowd. Why are you still here? It's none of your business. Get out of here. The female cultivators of Red Feather Room held grudges against Feng Wu, for she was practically using Ziyun as her stepping stone. Feng Wu gave them a half smile. Am I seeing things? Didn't Wang Lin lose the battle? Didn't he sneak up on Chaoga? Yes, that's right. It was senior sister Wang Lin who challenged Duan Chaoga. After she lost, she tried to ambush Duan Chaoga, but Duan Chaoga was the one who killed her, and that was wrong. The third senior sister of the Red Feather Room said coldly. Master Qilian closed her eyes and didn't say anything. Feng Wu said, Wang Lin lost, and Chaoga cut her loose, but she ambushed Chaoga. She had to have a death wish. What's wrong with Chaoga killing her? Chapter 42:12, Red Feather Room, 5. Had it not been for Feng Wu's victory over the sacred Lady Ziyun, these people would never have given Feng Wu a chance to speak. After what Feng Wu said, no one in the Red Feather Room dared to challenge her. Master Jingwei had no idea of Feng Wu's cultivation level. She glared at Feng Wu and said, Who the hell do you think you are? You have no right to speak in the Red Feather Room. Feng Wu smiled. Duan Chaoga is with me. Why can't I complain when she's wronged? Master Jingwei said, That's very bold of you. In that case, you can... Wait. Master Qilian stopped her when she was about to intervene. He then turned to Feng Wu. Miss Feng Wu, what happened today has nothing to do with you. It's a private matter of the Red Feather Room. Miss Feng Wu, please leave. Feng Wu chuckled. I told you that Duan Chaoga is a member of my family, and she's my business. How can I stay out of it? Moreover, instead of making Chaoga a murderer, why don't you check if your senior sister Wang Lin is really dead? What did you say? What do you mean? Senior sister Wang Lin is dead, and you're still going to humiliate her like this? You're so. While everyone was criticizing Feng Wu smiled. Is your senior sister Wang Lin really dead? She doesn't look that way to me. It just so happens that I'm an expert in medicine and I know how to treat this fake death. Of course, if your senior sister Wang Lin isn't dead, this needle will destroy all her cultivation achievements. After that, Feng Wu took out a thick needle, took off Wang Lin's shoes and socks and said, But please trust me. Put this needle in, and your senior sister Wang Lin will wake up. But no one would believe Feng Wu. However, when Feng Wu put the needle in, there was a scream. Wang Lin, who had been deemed dead, jumped to her feet and ran in the direction of her master. Master, help me. Everything happened so fast that the others didn't have time to react. She's not dead. But the sacred lady just said that she's dead. How can she still be alive? Immediately, all eyes were on Ziyun, and the sacred lady wanted to dig a hole and hide in it. That was right. Everything had been planned by the sacred lady Ziyun, including Wang Lin's death and Zhang Ke's visit to her master. She had thought that with Duan Chaoga's clumsy way of speech, she would never be able to explain herself, and her master would eventually kick her out of the sect. That way, Zivin could assassinate Duan Chaoga in secret and make her disappear from this world. However, the sacred lady had never expected that Feng Wu would show up halfway. Right now, all eyes were on her, and they all needed an explanation. I really thought Wang Lin was dead, and she wasn't breathing, the sacred lady was about to explain. But what she didn't know was that Feng Wu had drugged Wang Lin with the truth serum when she treated her with acupuncture. That powder was so potent that it could make people tell the truth. After Feng Wu's repeated modifications, the powder had become even more potent. I don't know how Wang Lin. It was indeed my fault. Master, please punish me. Ziyun apologized politely. Chapter 42:13, Red Feather Room, 6. Master Qilian didn't want to make a scene, so she decided to let it drop. Hence, Master Qilian said coldly, It's indeed your fault. You've wronged your junior sister Chaoga. Go apologize to her. The sacred lady went up to Chaoga. Chaoga didn't want to forgive her, so she kept her face straight and wouldn't look at her. Feng Wu smiled a little. This sacred lady wanted Chaoga dead and was trying to force Chaoga to forgive her. How could it be so easy? Therefore, Feng Wu snapped her fingers in her sleeves. It was like a secret signal that was going to set off the truth serum on Wang Lin. The sacred lady was still trying to explain her innocence to Chaoga, trying to blame it on Wang Lin, when Wang Lin said angrily, Senior sister, you planned this all along. How can you say that you don't know anything? What? Ziyun shuddered when she heard that. Immediately, The others all stared at Wang Lin and asked her what she meant. Wang Lin smirked. Senior sister has obviously come up with a plan so that Duan Chaoga can jump into it. She hates Duan Chaoga to the bone and wants to kill her. Don't you know that? What? How could their perfect senior sister do such a thing? Wang Lin, that's bullshit. The sacred lady wanted to tear Wang Lin's mouth open. Wang Lin smirked. You told me to fight Duan Chaoga, didn't you? You told me to pretend that Chaoga had killed me. You, Wang Lin, who had been drugged with the truth serum, didn't try to hide anything. She blurted out everything that needed to be said, cornering Ziyun and revealing all her darkest thoughts. Feng Wu had injured Ziyun, so the latter couldn't stop Wang Lin. You! Ziyun fainted. After she passed out, senior sister Wang Lin couldn't withstand the effect of the truth serum and passed out as well. Seeing the two people lying unconscious on the ground, everyone looked at one another in bewilderment and didn't know how to react. Master Qilian and Master Jinghui were equally baffled. In the end, Master Qilian spoke first. We can't just believe whatever Wang Lin says. After all, she's injured. Maybe her brain is damaged, and that's why she's making things up. Brain injury? If I hadn't forced Wang Lin to wake up today, what would have happened to Chaoga? Feng Wu stared at her coldly. Master Jinghui didn't know what to say. I don't think anything would happen. Feng Wu ignored her and went on talking to Master Qilian. I thought the Red Feather Room was a good place and you were good to Chaoga, which was why I handed her to you. I didn't expect that she would be bullied like this. If that's the case, I'll take her with me. I won't bother the Red Feather Room anymore. Goodbye. Feng Wu was about to leave with Chaoga. Stop. Master Qilian blocked her way. You can take her away. Feng Wu smirked. What? You won't give up until you get Chaoga killed. Do you want her to stay here and get killed by your sacred lady? Master Qilian had never been criticized like this before. She was embarrassed. Master Jinghui glared at Feng Wu. Chapter 42:14. Who was helping her? Jinghui glared at Feng Wu. You can't take her away. Feng Wu asked, what if I insist? Master Jinghui said, over my dead body then. Feng Wu smirked. Do you really think I'm afraid? Seeing that a fight was about to break out, Master Qilian felt a headache coming on. She waved her hands and stopped them. Forget it. I'll depend on Chaoga. Chaoga, do you want to go with her? Chaoga nodded without hesitation. I want to go with Xiao Wu. You Master Qilian almost choked. She knew that Chaoga might leave, but she didn't expect Chaoga to do it without hesitation. You haven't finished your cultivation yet. It's not the right time to leave. Master Qilian frowned. For the sake of your future, you'd better stay in the Red Feather Room. Don't worry. After this, your senior sisters won't do anything to you. Feng Wu gave it some thought and decided that it wouldn't be a good idea for Chaoga to leave now. The manual for Red Feather Room was the most suitable for Chaoga. If she left before she finished it? Feng Wu asked, are you really coming with me? Chaoga nodded. I'll follow you wherever you go. Xiao Wu, let's stay together, okay? Rubbing her temple, Feng Wu asked, how long do you have before you finish learning the cultivation technique? A month, said Master Qilian. Chaoga is very talented and shall be able to learn all the cultivation techniques in a month. All she needs to do from now on is to improve on her own. Feng Wu pulled Chaoga to the side and taught her how to cultivate as fast as she could. It was the one that she had taught Luo Zilin. Alright, remember that. Chaoga had a good memory for cultivation. Feng Wu nodded. They'll take you away in a month. In the end, Chaoga had no choice but to watch Feng Wu leave. After Feng Wu left, she went to Feng Sun and the others to teach them how to speed up their cultivation. Although they were already considered fast cultivators in their own sects, with the Dragon Gate banquet around the corner, they could still make some progress. To Feng Wu's surprise, after visiting several sects and teaching her friends, something happened to her on her way back. In the dark alley, the sound of raindrops filled the air. The atmosphere of the assassination was very tense. A blade struck down at the back of Feng Wu's neck. Feng Wu only realized what had happened when the blade almost brushed past her throat, but it was too late. Feng Wu dodged, but the blade still cut her skin. The mark was very shallow because Feng Wu dodged in time. If Feng Wu were any slower, she would have been decapitated. Who did it? Instantly, Feng Wu's heart raced. Although Feng Wu had shown Ziyun that she was a level 5 spiritual sovereign, she was actually a level 7 one. Even so, someone was still able to approach her without making a sound. One strike and she was almost dead. That person was more capable than she was. To Feng Wu's surprise, her opponent could have struck out a second time after the first one, but no matter how long she waited, the second strike never came. The assassin didn't make another move until she was gone. Smelling the blood, Feng Wu ran to a hidden corner and saw a man in black lying there on the ground. His bones were almost broken into pieces. Chapter 42:15. He else back all the bones in the man's body were broken as if he had been squeezed to death. Feng Wu was at a loss. Who was this man? And who had killed him? Who was the person that had attacked her just then? Where was he now? Or was someone secretly helping her? Feng Wu was filled with questions, but no one told her the answer. Time flew by and the day of the Dragon Gate banquet finally arrived. Luo Zilin ran out in a hurry and whispered something in Feng Wu's ear. Feng Wu's eyes lit up. Really? Of course. Why would I lie to you? Crossing his arms proudly, Luo Zilin glanced at Feng Wu. By the way, did you know? That person is back. Luo Zilin had a solemn look on his face. Feng Wu was at a loss. Who's that? Feng Wu looked at him in bewilderment. Luo Zilin said, the Crown Prince, the legendary Crown Prince, is back. Huh? Feng Wu looked at him in bewilderment. What are you talking about? Luo Zilin said, why aren't you sensitive to the secret of the royal family at all? They're our archenemy, and you have to be very sensitive to your enemies. Feng Wu nudged him. Fine. I won't know who the Crown Prince is until you tell me. Luo Zilin said, His Majesty's fourth son was the Empress' son, and he was made the Crown Prince as soon as he was born. However, he died a few days later. Feng Wu asked, is that so? Luo Zilin said, but according to my family's secret investigation, His Royal Highness isn't dead, but has been taken away for some special reason. Now, he's finally back to the royal family. Feng Wu said, isn't the Crown Prince supposed to be the eldest prince? Luo Zilin smirked. Even His Majesty thought that the Crown Prince was dead, so he made the eldest prince his heir to the throne. Now that the Crown Prince is still alive and has shown up, we'll have a great show to watch. The more they fight, the better it'll be for us. Feng Wu asked curiously, who's the new Crown Prince, then? Have you met him? Luo Zilin said, according to what we've been told, His Majesty is the only member of the royal family who has met the Crown Prince. The Empress died because of it. Something must have happened when the Crown Prince was carried off. Feng Wu agreed. Of course. It's too strange. No one gets sick for no reason. The Empress died of depression, and the Emperor still doesn't know that his son is still alive. There's a lot of story behind that. But what good will it do to me? Our top priority now is to win the Dragon Gate banquet. If Feng Wu had said that she wanted to be first before, Luo Zilin would have smiled and kept his silence. However, after seeing how fast the girl had been making breakthroughs, Luo Zilin felt that it wasn't impossible. I heard that the new Crown Prince is also going to the Dragon Gate banquet. Luo Zilin stared at Feng Wu. I heard that he's very talented. He should be a tough enemy for you. Feng Wu raised her head. I have to get that broken star piece. I'm not going to lose. Feng Wu and Luo Zilin headed for the Dragon's domain, where the Dragon Gate banquet was held. The Dragon Gate banquet was the most prosperous event in the empire. Apart from the eldest and second sons of the Luo family, the other two brothers and Feng Wu were all going. Chapter 42:16. Who do you choose? 1. There are a lot of candidates this year. Hey, erase my list. Seeing that Feng Wu had come back, Luo Zilin ran to her side. Why do you look so pale? Luo Zilin looked at Feng Wu in bewilderment. Feng Wu didn't try to keep it from him. Someone tried to assassinate me on my way back from the Red Feather Room. Luo Zilin's face darkened a little. Are you hurt? Feng Wu shook her head. Don't worry. I'm fine. That person failed. Only then did Luo Zilin let out a breath of relief. I'm so glad to see that you're all right. But who was it? Why would they try to kill you at such a critical moment? Feng Wu shook her head. That man took the poison and turned it into a pool of blood. His clothes are gone as well. There's really nothing left of him. What Feng Wu didn't tell Luo Zilin was that if someone hadn't saved her in secret, she would have been dead by now. If someone did it, they must have left a trace. We have to look into it. Luo Zilin ran out after that and gave the order. He then told his men to check the alley Feng Wu mentioned. By the way, did you mention the name list? Feng Wu looked at Luo Zilin in bewilderment. Luo Zilin nodded and handed a thick booklet to Feng Wu. A total of 600 people are going to attend. 600. Feng Wu's eyes widened. There are so many capable cultivators in 1 year? Luo Zilin smiled. One only needs to be a spiritual sovereign to participate. All the youngsters have fought their way up from all provinces. Each province and sect will send a few people, and there are hundreds of them. However, only the top 10 students of the Dragon Gate banquet will be rewarded, and it'll be very difficult to get into the top 10. The previous year, the top student was a level 6 spiritual sovereign. Feng Wu thought, I'm better than that. As expected, Luo Zilin went on. There are too many promising candidates this year, so I don't think a level 6 spiritual sovereign will be enough. Xiao Wu, you have to work harder. Feng Wu nodded. She was determined to become the winner, not only because of the Luo family's ranking but also because of the Broken Star piece. As long as you're a level 5 spiritual sovereign, you'll be exempted from the first 3 trials, Luo Zilin said excitedly. I'm at level 5 now, so I'll be exempted. Come with me. All 4 members of the Luo family were level 5 and above, and they were all exempted from the first 3 trials. After 3 rounds, there were only 100 people left. However, Feng Sun, Xian Yi, Chaoga, and Yuminji all had to fight to get into the top 100. To Feng Wu's surprise, after 3 rounds, they all made it into the top 100. That's impossible. How can Duan Chaoga get in? With her capability, there's no way. There were a lot of protests in the Red Feather Room. Master Qilian smiled bitterly. Duan Chaoga was more talented than she had expected, and she was very suitable to cultivate in the Red Feather Room. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to make such rapid progress. However, no matter how hard she tried, the conflict between Ziyun and Chaoga kept getting worse. It was almost irreconcilable. Are you sure you can't get along with her? You're all disciples of the Red Feather Room and should work together for the Red Feather Room. But before Master Qilian could finish, Fairy Ziyun said coldly, Master, which one do you choose, me or her? Chapter 42:17. Who do you choose, too? But before Master Qilian could finish, Fairy Ziyun said coldly, Master, which one do you choose, me or her? Master Qilian was dumbfounded and stared at Fairy Ziyun. But Fairy Ziyun wouldn't give in. She kept her unblinking gaze on Master Qilian as if she had to force the latter to make a decision. Master, who will you choose between me and Duan Chaoga? She asked, stressing each word. Master Qilian was displeased. Before she could say anything, Fairy Ziyun said, Master, if you choose her, I won't be the sacred lady of the Red Feather Room anymore. I'll leave from now on. Where are you going after you leave the Red Feather Room? Master Qilian asked coldly. Fairy Ziyun only smiled. It only took Master Qilian a split second to realize what she meant. The third of the first prince? Fairy Ziyun asked. Have you made up your mind? Master Qilian smirked. I'm never threatened. Fairy Ziyun had thought that her master would pick her, but in the end, Master Qilian gave her such an answer. So, Master, you've chosen Duan Chaoga, haven't you? Fairy Ziyun smirked and stared at her master with teary eyes. Is that your final choice? Master Qilian didn't say anything. In Fairy Ziyun's eyes, that was a tacit agreement. Good, very good. Master, I didn't expect that you would choose her in the end. Fairy Ziyun smirked. Duan Chaoga has done her best to make it into the top 100, and she can't go any further. But I'm already in the top 10 before the competition starts, and you're still going to choose her. Fairy Ziyun smirked again. All of a sudden, she ripped off her jade headband. What are you doing there? You saw everything. Fairy Ziyun stared at the screen behind her master. Fairy Ziyun already knew that someone was behind the screen, and it was Duan Chaoga. She had chosen that moment to enter her master's room to force her master to make a choice. She had thought that her master would choose her no matter what. That way, she would be able to humiliate Duan Chaoga and force her to leave. But she didn't expect that she would be the one to be abandoned. There was a loud smack. Fairy Ziyun threw the sacred lady of the Red Feather Room's headband at Chaoga. Chaoga grabbed it. From now on, I'm no longer a disciple of the Red Feather Room. Master, I hope you won't regret your decision today. Fairy Ziyun turned to leave after that. Ziyun. Master Jinghui ran after her. Senior sister. The disciples of Red Feather Room called after their senior sister. Although Ziyun had lost some dignity in the previous incident, she hadn't been called senior sister for nothing. Seeing her leave, everyone felt conflicted and turned to look at Master Qilian. Master Qilian smirked. Let her go. But Master Jinghui's face darkened. The sacred Lady Ziyun was the best member of Red Feather Room this time, and no one else could make it into the top 10. Would the Red Feather Room be demoted if no one else made it? Master Qilian smirked. If she's not sincere, it won't do her any good even if she joins the battle. She left after that. Master Jinghui looked back at Chaoga and didn't know what to say. Who would have thought that Chaoga could replace Ziyun, the sacred lady, in such a short time? She gave Duan Chaoga an indescribable look and went after Master Qilian. Chapter 42:18 Master. Chaoga watched Master Qilian leave in silence. After some silence, she walked out of the Red Feather Room. She was looking for Feng Wu. Xiao Wu. Chaoga told Feng Wu what happened in the Red Feather Room. In the end, she asked hesitantly, "Do you think I really forced her to leave?" Of course not. Feng Wu was preparing for the competition the following day, and she stopped to listen to Chaoga's description when she saw her. In the end, she shook her head affirmatively. From what I can see, your senior sister has always wanted to leave, but she's only using this as an excuse. Really? It really wasn't because of me? Chaoga was elated. Feng Wu nodded. Of course, it wasn't because of you. Someone like her would never give up her status as the sacred lady of the Red Feather Room for such a petty thing. I'm sure it was for her own good. Who could it be then? Chaoga asked. Feng Wu shook her head. I don't know how, but she won't be able to keep it a secret for long. Well, see. I didn't know that your master wouldn't let her have her way. I underestimated the Master Qilian. Master is a very good master, Chaoga said earnestly. Feng Wu stroked her hair. I see. Your master is a great master. I'll give her a hand when I have the chance. Yes. Chaoga nodded earnestly as if Feng Wu really would do that. Feng Wu smiled bitterly. You really do trust me. I'm nowhere near as capable as she is now. How am I supposed to help her? You'll be the best one day, Chaoga said confidently. By the way, the competition is tomorrow. Xiao Wu, how are you doing? Chaoga asked anxiously. Feng Wu said, You sound as if you don't need any preparation. I'm not worried about myself. How's your preparation going? Chaoga said, Master said that I was lucky to be in the top 100 this time. I don't think I'll have a chance in the top 50, but what? Chaoga said hesitantly, but my senior sister has withdrawn from the Red Feather Room just like that, and there are too few talented people of her generation. If I'm the only one in the top 100 in the Red Feather Room in the end, I don't want to embarrass my master. Feng Wu said, It's not just a matter of embarrassment. Red Feather Room's status will plummet because of this battle. After all, if only one disciple is in the top 100, they won't be qualified to call themselves one of the 10 major sections. What should we do then? Chaoga asked anxiously. Feng Wu said, You'll have to work harder, then. You're the only hope of the Red Feather Room. But Chaoga knew her level very well. She was already very lucky to be in the top 100, and there was nothing she could do to get in the top 50. Junior sister, there you are. Come back with me. Master is looking for you. A female disciple of Red Feather Room arrived in a hurry and reached out to take Cheage's hand. "Master is looking for me." Chaoga was surprised. "Come with me. We don't have time for this." Chaoga was quickly dragged away by her senior sister. To her surprise, her master had actually come up with a way to improve her cultivation level. "Master? That won't do. That won't do." Chaoga was astonished when she heard her master's suggestion. "That won't do. There has to be another way." Her master was going to give her cultivation achievements to Chaoga. Chapter 42:19 Cultivation Imparting. Master Qilian gave Chaoga a long look. If there was another way, would she choose to impart her cultivation skills to Chaoga? "Sit down." Master Qilian took a deep breath and gestured at Chaoga to sit down on the rush cushion in front of her. "That's our only option now. Don't say no yet. I don't have the energy to explain to you. All you need to know is that if you're not in the top 10, you'll have your head." Top 10? Chaoga was so anxious that she almost fainted. With her current capability, she had only gotten into the first 100 because she was lucky enough to get the by draw. However, her master had just told her to get into the top 10. Remember, defeat Xiun, you have to defeat her. After that, Master Qilian began to teach Chaoga without giving her any chance to react. One night passed. Apart from Luo Zibo and Luo Ziji, Luo Zizhong, Luo Zilin, and Feng Wu were all at the Dragon Gate banquet. The top 100 candidates finally made it to the imperial capital and became outstanding members of the younger generation. The host of the Dragon Gate banquet was the Princess Royal. Right now, the Princess Royal stood proudly in the host's seat in a blue dress and looked calmly at the audience. Standing on the high platform, she glanced at the outstanding youngsters. When she looked at Feng Wu, she smirked. Feng Wu. The combination of old and new grudges made the princess' face darken, but she still looked away without batting an eyelash. There's no need to say more. The competition will be divided into 4 groups. I'm going to randomly place the cards, and the person will be divided into 4 groups. Everyone started talking after they heard what the Princess Royal said. Because this wasn't the first Dragon Gate banquet, and everyone knew the rules. Before, everyone had to choose their own cards, but this time, it was the Princess Royal's turn. Is that fair? What if we're in the death group? What's that? You don't know? By death group, it means that the group is filled with capable cultivators, and they're all fighting against each other. We're divided into 4 groups. For instance, if all the capable cultivators are in the Sky group, it'll be very unfair to the members in that group. That's right. Why does the Princess Royal have to do it this time? The Princess Royal looked around and said indifferently, "Although we're dealing the cards, we have to be fair and open. Therefore, Your Royal Highness, please shuffle the cards." In front of the Princess Royal was a big desk with black ink plates on it. Moreover, I, Lord Yen, and Luo Nantian are going to draw at the same time. Is that fair? The Princess Royal narrowed her eyes. That's the fairest decision. Many people agreed. Feng Wu glanced at her uncle involuntarily. Luo Nantian looked back at her in a calm way. The cards were soon given out. Xiao Wu, what card did you get? Chaoga asked Feng Wu excitedly. Feng Wu said, I'm in the yellow group. Chaoga sighed. But I'm in the sky group. Chapter 42:20 Groups. Luo Zilin chuckled. Isn't it nice to be in the sky group? You wouldn't have run into Xiao Wu. Feng Wu then turned to Luo Zilin. What about you? Luo Zilin shrugged. I'm not as lucky as Duan Chaoga. Just like you, I'm in the yellow group. Feng Wu narrowed her eyes and had a bad feeling. As expected, Luo Zizhong and Luo Zilin soon arrived, and Feng Wu asked them about their grouping. Are you both in the yellow group? Feng Wu looked at her 2 brothers. Luo Zizhong and Luo Zilin nodded, then asked Feng Wu. Luo Zilin was furious when he heard that Feng Wu was also a member of the yellow group. What kind of luck is it to put all 3 of us in the same group? Someone must be behind this. No, we can't let this drop. After that, Luo Zilin rolled up his sleeves and was going to start a fight. Feng Wu stopped him and said indifferently, Who are you going to reason with? Luo Zilin said, Of course, it's the Princess Royal. She's behind it. Feng Wu asked, Where's your proof? Luo Zilin said, I don't need any proof. It's so obvious. Princess Royal has held grudges against you and the Luo family for a very long time. Feng Wu frowned and asked again, Where's your proof? Luo Zilin didn't know what to say. Feng Wu said, My uncle was a part of the deal. If he didn't notice it, it means something. The others turned to Feng Wu in unison. What is it? Feng Wu said, That's enough to prove that the Princess Royal has a lot of tricks up her sleeves. Why don't we go ask my uncle first? Luo Zilin nodded immediately. Yes, let's go. Feng Wu said, You guys go ahead. They'll go find Feng Sun and the others. Seeing that Luo Zilin and the others had arrived, Luo Nantian knew what they wanted to ask. He waved at them and said, Let's go home first. Meanwhile, Feng Wu was meeting up with Feng Sun, Xin Yi, and Yu Minji. Xiao Wu, which group are you in? Feng Sun asked eagerly. Before Feng Wu could say anything, Chaoga interjected. Xiao Wu is a member of the Yellow Group and I'm a member of the Sky Group. What about you? What? Feng Sun and the others drew in their breaths. Xiao Wu is a member of the Yellow Group? What a coincidence. Feng Wu frowned. Are you members of the Yellow Group as well? That's right. Feng Sun said in astonishment. Xian Yi and Yu Minji looked at each other's tokens before you arrived. Yu Minji is in the Earth Group, but Xian Yi and I both belong to the Yellow Group as well. I didn't know that Xiao Wu was a member of the Yellow Group too. How did this happen? Chaoga was even angrier. Xiao Wu isn't the only one. The two brothers of the Luo family are members of the Yellow Group as well. Most of us have been assigned to the Yellow Group, and it's obvious that the Princess Royal is targeting us. Yu Minji said, Luckily, I'm not in the Yellow Group. Feng Sun said grumpily, Your Royal Highness probably thinks that you can still be roped in. Yu Minji smiled wryly. He didn't join the royal family to work for them. Let's go back to the Luo family first. Feng Wu nodded at the others. She then looked at Yu Minji and whispered something in his ear. Yu Mingye's eyes lit up when he heard that and he kept his unblinking gaze on Feng Wu. Alright, they'll do as you say. Hearing that, Feng Sun patted Yu Minji on the shoulder. Of course, you have to listen to Xiao Wu, but can you blink a little? Xiao Wu is no longer available. Yu Minji snorted. Not necessarily. He turned to leave after that. Hey, that Yu Minji. Feng Sun stomped his foot in frustration as he pointed at Yu Mingye's back. What's that supposed to mean? You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.